weeks.
Councillors,
I can't get.
the lady speaking to me again.
Can't get the
How many
pallets.
you got left?
So it's good, and like I've got starting
brilliant.
Monday, we've got
Are they?
any
I'll
pallets.
have one on the way out the door.
Well, Mick's just built a $3 million job down there,
I've never made brownies.
and he mainly does.
Councillors, we are recording.
Nice and moist. For
We're about to start the meeting. Councillor Arthur. Hello, we are here. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to this special council meeting. We are recording this meeting. Unfortunately, we're not transmitting it live, but we will put it out later so people can watch it later. Due to the technology, I declare this meeting open. Sorry, we're a little bit late. We've been trying to establish an IT connection with a councillor, which we ended up not being able to. I read the civic affirmation. We gather today to duly and faithfully carry out our duties to the best of our judgment and ability for the advancement of the district and the benefit of all of the community and our fellow citizens. And the Coorong District Council members acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional custodians of the lands and waters of the Nurrungeri people whose ancestral lands are on which we meet today. We acknowledge the deep feelings of attachment and relationship of Aboriginal people to country and pay our respects to elders past and present. We also extend that respect to all First Nations people. Thank you, everyone. So we are, as I just said, we are taping this and it will be put out later, but just technically it's not possible to live stream this meeting at this stage. Apologies, item 1. I have apologies now from Councillor Taylor and Councillor Jentsch. We just tried to establish electronic communication with Councillor Jentsch, but we just cannot get it to work satisfactorily. So he has become an apology. Item number 2 on the agenda is elected representation review. On page 4 of my report under discussion, the first dot point, on the 29th of June 2021, Council resolved as follows: that the principal member of council continue to be a mayor elected by the community. The word continue needs to be removed. It gives the impression we are already at that point. It's a typo. I welcome Craig Rowe is on Zoom for us today, our consultant in relation to this subject. Item 2, perhaps Craig, if you could just give us a quick rundown on the process in relation to item 2, please. Welcome.
Thank you very much. You can hear me?
Yeah, beautifully. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. Good afternoon, members, and thank you for the time to quickly meet with you again today. Members, we had a quick workshop a couple of weeks ago and we talked about the submissions that have been received from the community in respect to the second consultation stage of the review, and members were very comfortable in proceeding with a process to ensure that the principal member of council be changed from a chairperson to a mayor. Since that meeting, we've had the ability to consult with EXA, and only in the last day or so we received advice from the Commission regarding the conduct of a poll. We have provided you with copies of the email and the proposed schedule or time frame for the poll. Unfortunately, we are really tied up against the end of October deadline for the review, and so we require that council decide at the earliest opportunity, as in today, whether we proceed with a poll with the view to having the principal member changed to an elected mayor and that come into effect at the next election in 2022, or whether you wish to sit back and wait for the transition regulations under the latest bill or the new act, which would enable you to change to a mayor in 2026. At the previous workshop, it was pretty clear that the members were keen to proceed. I think I indicated to you that there would be a cost of about $10,000. That's obviously gone up. They're suggesting, the Commission is now suggesting that could be as high as $16,000, although they did put a $2,000 contingency in there. I just want to explain quickly to members that there is a process that they have to follow to do the poll. And the best result we can get if we start immediately is that we could get a provisional proclamation on the 27th of October. which is only 3 days short of when we have to have our review with the Commission. And we can't get a formal declaration on the poll until the 1st of November, because there's a requirement that once the poll has been counted and there's a declaration done, a provisional declaration done, there has to be 72 hours set aside for the possibility of a call for a recount. Just quickly, members, to ensure that a poll is successful, we have to get about 790 electors to respond. It's a fairly strange calculation. We have to have the number of eligible electors within the council area multiplied by half of the percentage turnout at the last election. So the last election we had a turnout of 42.2%. So it works out that we need about 789 people to respond to the poll. If we don't get that, the poll doesn't continue, it's not valid. And we only have to have a majority of people supporting the proposition. So what we want to do today is get the members to, I'll answer any questions you may have, but we'd like to get a resolution that we can contact or proceed with the poll if that's your desire, which means that we can contact EXA today and get them to put in motion everything that they have to do to ensure that the poll can start at the earliest possible opportunity. We will be working with EXA and council to ensure that that gets done, and we would like to get some public notices in the papers next week, which means that between us and staff and EXA, we have to have the notices to those papers by tomorrow afternoon. So members, I'm at your mercy. I can go through the details of the process if you wish, or answer any questions that you might have from this point on.
Councillor Roundtree,
I'd like to move the motion.
like to move the motion
Yes.
as the recommendation.
Yep.
The 3 points.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move that first. Councillor Roundtree's mover, because I see you, Councillor Ling, as the seconder. Yep. Okay, so thank you. Is there any questions?
The only question I've
Councillor
got,
Arthur?
Mr Mayor, is let's hope that the community will reply to these things. You do get a situation where it's, yeah, that's okay, everyone else will do it. So if we don't get 789 people to respond, we're wasting our time and money. So somehow we've got to be a little bit better than we have been at getting this out there. And don't leave it and think everybody looks at Facebook and your website, because it doesn't happen like that. So
Craig, this will come to all electors of the council area as a postal vote. Is that right?
Correct. Yes. And there'll be, along with the actual paper that they vote with, there'll be a 1-page description of what's being presented to them and the pros and cons of that in summary, and there'll be an indication of when they need to get back. But we can certainly, as we discussed quickly yesterday, we can certainly do a little bit more along with council outside the requirements. We can go into various other papers, and we can put public notices around about the place that might spur a few more members of the public to participate.
Yep. Okay, Councillor Ling, yes?
Yes.
Question, I hope. Well, you can speak to your motion here. You're entitled to speak.
In regard to the mail out, I think it's important to address to the constituents who will be hopefully responding on this, that why we're taking this action to implement an elected mayor at the following election, as opposed to just the elected councillors. They need to know that if they don't agree with us having an elected mayor on this occasion, we will be one man down, or one person down, one councillor down. I think that's an important point.
So I think your point, Councillor Ling, and it's to Craig, is given it's an electoral commission sort of letter, is there room for, I wouldn't say commentary, but some support around the debate, or is it not allowed?
Certainly we'll have input into what goes out to the public. And we will work with commission staff, and we'll present a draft to council staff as well before it goes out. So what goes out will cover everything that we think that the public needs and fits in that one page. So we will certainly have input into that.
Will it make the comment that if you don't vote, it could fail?
Absolutely. It will spell out what's required to be a successful poll.
Okay. Councillor Bland.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And my question is around the timing, given how tight it is. And I understand it goes to the Electoral Commission, but if they fail to meet that timeframe, what is the outcome? And what is, the outcome? Well, obviously it's that we go to 24, I think, but in reality, what is the outcome for council and at what cost? Do we accept all the costs if they fail to meet those timeframes?
Good question. In the years that we've been doing this, the Electoral Commission's never failed to conduct a poll in time. We're still awaiting some feedback from the Electoral Commission, in particular from David Gully, the Deputy Electoral Commissioner, regarding options for us. We clearly have to have our final report to the Electoral Commission by the 30th. In previous years, we've been granted some leeway in that regard, and we're looking for that this time round as well. We're also considering, or the Commission's considering, options whereby our report, our final report, might cover two options. Option A, if the poll was successful, this is what's going to happen. Option B, if it's not successful, this is what council wants to happen, so we can have 50 cents each way. At the end of the day, I just don't believe that the poll will fail, either from a point of view from EXA conducting it or from the community being involved in it. We are responsible for the costs. I can't really suggest to you one way or the other what EXA might do if they don't meet their deadlines. They have therefore, as far as I'd be concerned, they've failed in their obligations, and that's at their cost, not our cost. We pay for the conduct of a proper and full poll, not a partial poll or an unsuccessful poll.
Thank you.
Anyone else on this number one, on this number two on the agenda? Just for councillors' information, both of the apologies today would be supporting both the motion. They have informed me. It has no effect, but I'm telling you that because that was what they said to me. Anyone else? You will close, councillor.
Close.
Close. So, councillors, the recommendation is in the 3 points. It is as it reads. I will put that motion. All those in favour? Those against? That's carried unanimously. Item, right in the back, isn't it? Item 2, and just for the benefit of perhaps the recording and people who may watch this, given this has not been out in the public debate. So item 2, this is given council has just accepted the results of our second stage of our public consultation, and the outcome is to need to have an election of all the electors of this district, see if they wish to move to a mayor elected at large. So this is item 3 of our agenda today. The recommendation will at this stage is council resolve to initiate a poll of the community pursuant to section 12(11) of the Local Government Act 1999 on the matter of the proposed change of the principal member from a chairperson to an elected mayor, with the view to such a change coming into effect at the local government election in November 2022. And the second point is the Electoral Commission of South Australia, ESCA, be formally requested to initiate the above mentioned poll at their earliest opportunity with the view to having it completed and declared prior to the presentation of council's final review report to the Electoral Commissioner. Someone move that way, please. Councillor Arthur on this one. Is it Councillor Lang, you want us to lead it?
No, thank you.
Councillor Arthur?
I think it's something that is going to happen anyway. Let's get on with it. And I think it is, I haven't spoken to anybody within the whole council area that's not in favour of this proposal.
Okay, anyone else wish to add to debate? Craig, I think you've outlined everything so far we need to know in relation to this, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Is there no one else?
Close.
Closed, the debate's closed. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Thank you, councillors. That's carried. That is the only items on the agenda today. As I said, we'll try and get this up for the ratepayers and residents to watch and the electors as soon as we possibly can. And I am sorry that this was the time frame, but we had no choice in this format, unfortunately today. We are back here next. What time? Workshops, citizenship ceremonies, and the ordinary meeting of council. Thank you. I'll declare the meeting closed.
Thank you.
Thanks, members. Bye.
Thank you, Craig.
Cheers. Bye.
On the citizenship ceremonies, is it possible to get